I would like to welcome you on this beautiful Sunday morning. It has been a weekend of sadhana at the ashram. You may have seen those little posters, silence. What is the purpose of the ashram here in this valley? Not only in this valley. I was thinking, what are we really doing here? What is our work? The work is very simple. Sadhana and Seva. 2 words. These two are the banks of the river. Between these two, the river of life flows. Sadhana. What is sadhana? Sadhana means any effort, any attempt we make to connect with our fullness, our wholeness, our divinity, God. It's all the same. Any conscious effort that we make is called sadhana. It's just like you could be doing any kind of exercise. Same exercise with a little focus, little conscious attention can become yoga. The exercise is the same. Acrobats are doing that. Yogis are doing that. One is totally focused on the body. Other one is a little bit more focused on the energy, the flexibility, and subtle movements. Actions are the actions, but what is behind that action? So no matter what you do, pay attention to, is it serving my divinity? Is it bringing me closer to my wholeness? That becomes sadhana in itself. Sadhana doesn't only mean sitting with your eyes closed and praying. Sadhana could be even working in the field, growing vegetables. There are many stories of great beings. Anyway, sadhana connects us with our fullness. And this is the purpose of the ashram, I think, in my thinking. Keep reminding you, you are whole, you are complete, you are the divine itself that you are worshipping. You are not separate. You're not separate. The analogy that is given of the big mirror in which the sun is reflecting in its fullness. That mirror breaks and falls and breaks into millions of little pieces. Each piece will be reflecting that sun in its fullness. Ekoham bahusyami, may one become many. As the story goes, in the beginning, It was one, absolutely whole, complete unto itself. Nothing was missing. It was full. Out of that fullness, playfulness, a desire rose. May one become many. We are the many. We are the many. One and only purpose of taking this birth as a human being is to realize you are that. You are not separate. That is the work. And that work is called sadhana. The effort, the work that we do to connect with that fullness. I'm not separate. Now, how this separation is experienced. All traditions really talk about the same thing. In Christianity, the language is a little different. They say you are born sinner. It's not that you are sinner. It's the act of taking birth. Taking birth means separating from the whole. It's the act of separation that is called sin. The act of feeling separate can go in that category. Because of whatever karmic predicament the soul has taken this body, we have taken this body, we have separated from that wholeness, God. So, the work is yoga. Yoga means union. This life that we spend should be a life of union, not separation. That's what really yoga means. Yoga means to aspire towards that union. That we were separated because of some karmic predicament. So all the sadhana, all the puja, all the spiritual work that we do, the one and only purpose is to take us back to that union. That is called sadhana. So, whenever you feel separated, how does that happen? If you look at it, your attention is focused on me. Me, my needs, my way of thinking, my preference, my likes, my dislikes, my wants. And the more we are focused on me, the more separated we are from the whole. तरुअर फल नहीं खात है, सरिता पिए न नीर, परमारथ के कारणे साधुन धरा शरीर. A tree does not eat its own fruit. A river does not drink its own water. It's for the welfare of others that the great souls have taken this birth. Seva. They are great beings because they have realized there is no separation. They devote their life to a life of service. Seva. The more I'm focused on me, I'm just separating myself from their wholeness. Can we live with this attitude? What can I do for you? What can I do for you? Because we have realized there is no end to me and mine. There is no end. And we are not saint, that we walk away from everything and what can I do for you? Just live like that. Balance. How do we balance it? How do we bring that attitude in our daily life? Whenever I look for these examples, I always go back to my childhood. Always. Because in that old culture, this thing has been so ingrained deeply. I'm not saying they're all saints, but in the tradition, in the practices of the village life, it's there. I remember from the farm, if any grain came to the house to be stored, before it even entered the house, my mom will say, "Stop, wait." Out of this whole sack, she will take out half a sack and put it outside and will say, "This is for the temple." So before that grain came in the house, a portion of it was already taken out, then came in. Then that grain was called Sadhana. It means this will be beneficial. This will bring about good luck. I think the same thing is here too. They call it, what is it called? Tithing. Not at the end, not at the leftover. Tithing is like what comes to you before you taste it, before you eat it, before you take out a little bit. I look back at my father's practices. The plate came to him every day, every meal actually. He will take little rice, just this much, from his bowl, a spoonful of rice, spoonful of sabji, spoonful of dal, a little part of chapati. He'll put it in a bowl. And after he had finished his meal, he will go and feed it to the cow. That was outside, tied outside. Just put it in there. So before I take in the thought of take a little out for those who are a little needy. But I see here sometimes the food comes and we just attack. No thinking of some awareness around it. Grateful. I'm grateful for this gift that's coming to me. And when I'm grateful, I think of others who are less grateful. Then that food becomes a prasad, a nurturing thing. Otherwise, I'm consuming it out of my greed. And the faster it goes, even faster it leaves. Anything. Our life is a divine life. Divine life. And all the blessings, all the gifts that we have, every morning I wake up here, I'm just so grateful to be living in this valley. Look at the weather. Look at the flowers, fruit on the trees and vegetables growing in abundance and clean air, beautiful sunrise, clean water. This is heaven. And living in heaven, if we are unhappy, what can we do? waking up every morning. This is why the sadhana, those little practices that we teach at the ashram, simple little things. And I know simple things that I have been talking about for years, and I still see some people and I ask them, so do you do the practice? Oh, their excuses are many. But if you could really just do that practice, sit. As soon as you wake up, sit in your bed. Take 3 deep breaths. Be present to those breaths. Assign anything to that. Just say, I love myself. In the name of that, I'm taking this breath. I respect myself. In the name of that respect, I'm taking this breath. I'm grateful for this life. Remembering that, I'm taking this breath. Just that. Even these 3 little breaths can turn your life around if you're really present to those 3 breaths. And I'm serious. I'm not just speaking to make it sound good. If you can be truly present to those 3 breaths every morning, all it takes is a drop of lemon to make yogurt out of the whole bucket of milk. The culture. Depending on what kind of seed we sow in the morning, that's what we keep harvesting throughout the day. You have to be very serious about your sadhana, your spiritual work. It doesn't need to be complicated and this mantras and this. No. Your presence is the presence of God. Can you be really present to yourself? Just doing this. Whatever is coming on in the mind in the night while you are sleeping, nightmares, dreams, fears, just for a moment, as soon as you wake up, do this, just like they bathe in the Ganga. Push it all away. Close your nose, close your eyes, take a dip in the river. As soon as you wake up, sit in your bed. Don't start petting the cat that's sitting on you right away, or the dog. Cats and dogs are always there to take you away from God. They're nice. Spend a little time with them. But first spend a little time with yourself. If it's not cats and dogs, then it's your smartphone. Something is out there to take you away right away. But the work is greet yourself. Greet the divine that you are. Greet the divine essence that resides in you. Just close your eyes and just say, I welcome myself to this beautiful day. This is sadhana. Say to yourself, I'm full. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I have a healthy body, healthy mind, clothing on my body, sitting in this house that push the button and it becomes cold or hot. Just be grateful for this. And when I'm truly grateful, the mind will come in, undisciplined mind will come in and say, yes, but. So yes, but will take us back in the world. But while even engaging in the world, don't get washed away. Keep putting those commas in the sentence of the day. Just stop. Take a breath. Someone asked me the other day, Babaji, why do you tell us to soften the belly? Pay attention to what happens to you. When you are in an uncomfortable situation, two things happen. Your belly tightens and eyes stiffen. Because these are the two points through which we connect with the world. Umbilical cord, the way baby is connected with the mother. We are connected with this mother. This is also mother's belly, the space between the earth and the sky. We are in this belly. We are connected energetically with this energy cord through our navel. When we perceive danger coming, uncomfortable situation coming, we begin to tighten right here. People say gut feeling. This feels faster. And eyes. So eyes stiffen, belly tightens. If you do swadhyaya, self-study, pay attention to what happens in you while you are engaging in the world. These two things are the most sensitive. And the very moment you remember, soften your belly, soften your eyes. You have cut those cords through which that energy is entering in you. Take a nice deep breath. Let the breath rise from the navel to the heart. You have come back home. Heart. This whole weekend has been about the heart, because we have been doing the Triratri of the Divine Mother. Mother, Ma, is the name of unconditional love. Whether you believe it or not, we are all recipients of unconditional love. If that love didn't come to you from your physical mother, it came from somewhere else. But it did come to you, that's why you are here, sitting. So celebration, remembrance of that presence of unconditional love in our life. Now, if you have looked at the pictures of the Divine Mother in Indian iconography, she's sitting on a lotus. Heart lotus. Your heart is open. If your heart is open, that divine comes and sits in your heart. If your heart is closed because of whatever, anger, fear, lust, greed, jealousy, there is no place for the divine to sit, the Divine Mother to sit. It's closed. So those symbols have a meaning. That if your heart lotus is open, the divine comes and sits on it. If it's closed, you have closed yourself to the world. You have closed yourself to the divine. And see how beautiful it was, symbolic. I have been talking about this, and I came to the temple. Guess what I was presented with? The Divine Mother just walked right here. So this is lotus, mini lotus. It's the little. That's what lotus looks like. If you have ever wondered, and just imagine it fully open, and that's what your heart should be like, open. Sadhana. Through our spiritual work, we connect with that fullness. And when we are in connection with our fullness, there comes a moment. You have this feeling of that everything is a part of you. Everything. You're not separate. And that feeling stays for a very short time. Very, very short time. And it has happened to us all. But having that feeling in itself proves that presence, that is there. You know, you have never tasted the ocean, don't know what it tastes like. You go there, put your finger in and put it in your mouth. In that instant, you know what this entire ocean tastes like. Spiritual work is like that. Many people say, oh Babaji, I had such a nice experience a long time ago and I just can't get there. You don't need to get there. You know it exists. That's enough. I know it's there. You know it through experience. You don't know it through believing. Just somebody telling you, believe, believe, believe. No. You have to experience it. Through that experience, you know something is there. You cannot step in the same river twice. So if you have ever wondered, oh, I used to have nice experience in those days, now I don't get there, doesn't matter. Step in the river that is in front of you now. Whatever your practice is, prayers, meditations, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Some days it will be good, some days it will be not so good. But there is not such a thing as a good and bad. It's just different. My dharma is to just do it. My dharma is to be just present to it. Just get up, sit up, take those 3 deep breaths, or do your mala, jap, your prayer, meditation, whatever it is, just do it. Don't judge it. We don't do meditation and prayers to feel good. It has nothing to do with feeling good. We do it in the name of our connection, our identification with our true identity. That's why we do it. Sadhana and Seva. Seva is really very close to my heart because this really changed my life. Simple words of a realized being. Look for your happiness in the smiles of others. That's what Baba told me. That's it. That's all he said. Didn't give me long discourse, teaching, nothing. He said it and somehow I was there to listen to it. And it changed my life. The prescription is not to just walk away and devote your life like this, but component of seva has to be there. In different thoughts, even service is a spiritual practice. Look at Mother Teresa. She did the work for lepers. That whole tradition, through service, going towards God, seeing God in everyone she served. Our thinking is, you are God and the one you are serving is God. Both are God. There is no separation. You just know, acknowledge that you are grateful. You are full, you are grateful. The very moment you are established in that gratefulness, that fullness will overflow. That fullness will overflow. And that overflow is seva, is selfless service. When you are living with that attitude that I am grateful, no matter where you are, that fullness is overflowing. There is no more place to fill in. It only gives. If you have nothing to give, your smile is enough. Imagine being with people. You don't want anything from them. You're just happy to be there. You have no schemes, not scheming, not thinking, not positioning. You're just there. Your presence is a gift. Your presence like that becomes a seva no matter where you are. So sadhana and seva, that's all I have to say today. I'm very grateful that this weekend has been here and people have had a wonderful time and they're still in silence. And you can almost feel the silence in the grounds. Last night we even talked to the whole of our Bal Ashram family. It just happened. I had a meeting with them and people were here. We have 2 new boys that just came. And 9 and 10. And listening to their stories and where they have been and now where they are, that in itself is a confirmation of the Divine Mother's presence in everyone's life. Remember, you are little, you lose your parents, or one of them. The other one is an alcoholic, doesn't know anything what to do. You run away. You're found by police at the age of 6 or 7, put away in an institute. Then end up at Bal Ashram like you have won the lottery. So, but looking at the struggle, what they have gone through, and still end up in a place like that. We never lose hope. Just having that kind of feeling that there is a power protecting us. Just living with that attitude that saves us from all kinds of troubles. Otherwise we keep living in this imaginary fear. Keep seeing snake in a rope. Instead of getting scared of it, pick up that rope, put it in your backpack. It will be useful. Thank you all very much for being present here.